This video is for you if you're making decent money in your business, but you're really looking to scale to over $1 million and you have a feeling your team is gonna be one of the big levers that you can pull to make that happen. So for me personally, I really didn't even get on a path to making $1 million a year until I started building a better team. What I've come to learn over the last few years is not only has my company continued to make millions of dollars, but I've helped other people's company make millions of dollars. What got you to 6 figures is not gonna get you to 7 figures. And one of the elements of that is how you've been doing your team currently is not how you can continue to do your team. It's just not gonna work. Your team is that one of the most powerful levers you can pull in order to get shit done faster and ultimately make more money. So in this video, what I wanna do is share with you what I have learned around building a team that actually helps you get to $1 million. So rather than you feel like you're dragging your team and you're pulling them and holding their hand and telling them what to do, I wanna show you in this video how to build a team that's actually going to help assist you to hit your goal of building $1 million company. First thing that you need to do as the CEO of your company is you need to share your vision repeatedly. What is your end goal? If it's in your head, you can't expect your team to, first of all, even know what it is you want, and then secondly, work towards helping you build that. I don't know if you guys have read the book Vivid Vision by Cameron Herold. He came and spoke at an event that I went to. He shared this concept of the vivid vision, where you sit down as the CEO of your company and you write out the vision that you have for your company over a 5-year period or a 10-year period or whatever it might be. And then you share that vision with your team. And what I have found to be powerful is even more than sharing your revenue goals, although do share your revenue goals, what my team really got behind was my ultimate mission, which is to help women make millions of dollars. That's what I'm all about. And so my whole company exists to get that number up. So I shared that. And I noticed once I shared that vision, I'm like, hey, team, this is what we're going for. This is what we want. This is what we're working towards. Everybody got behind that and we started making more money, growing our business. Things started just clicking into place better because we all had the same shared vision. So the first thing you're going to want to do as you get your team helping you build $1 million company is just share the vision with them. Be vulnerable and share what your goals are. Second thing that you want to do where it makes sense is to create monetary incentives or other incentives for you guys to hit that goal. So I'll give you a really good example. One of the persons on my team helps me enroll students into my 100K mastermind. So in case you don't know, my 100K mastermind is the program that I've created to essentially show women entrepreneurs what I did to make $100,000 every single month. There's a person who supports me in that role and who helps me, and she is compensated as the company grows, as that program grows. She is financially compensated. And so she's very motivated to help me grow, similarly how I'm motivated to help me grow because her bonus checks are connected to that. And so where it makes sense, you want to give your team members incentives to increase growth, but not every team member needs to have that. The only team members who need to have those kind of incentives are the team members that are directly correlated to driving revenue. Does your VA need to have incentives? No. Could you choose to give it to her? Sure, you're the owner of your company. If you want to do that, go for it. The pivotal, the crucial team members who should have incentives based on the growth of the company, give them a percentage of that money. Third thing that I've learned as I've built a really good team, and Lord knows I have made so many mistakes when it comes to growing a team. It's something that I just did not naturally come to me. I've had to learn all of this by painful error. You can't tolerate mediocre team members. And this is my call out. This is my talking right to you. Those of you who are running maybe 6-figure businesses, you have some team members that have been with you for a year or two. They like working in your company. You're comfortable with them, but you're settling almost like you're settling with a bad boyfriend because you don't want to have the discomfort of firing them. This is that call out to you. You being nice and you being unwilling to have those tough conversations is one of the things that's preventing you from reaching 7 figures. Just period, end of story. And I've learned this, right? Because I've been in positions where I've had team members who were on my team for way too long because I didn't want to have those conversations. So I get it. I've been there. But at the same time, you can't tolerate mediocrity. What you tolerate, you endorse. So if you're tolerating a less than excellent person on your team, you're telling every other team member, this is what we allow. we endorse this. We endorse this person not hitting their deadlines. We endorse this lack of accountability. We endorse this person being disrespectful or not being open to feedback. What you tolerate, you endorse. And I notice this over and over again, especially with my students in the 100K mastermind. There's such a avoidance of tough conversations and there's such a tolerance of mediocre team members. The longer I've gone on and the longer I've been in business, the less I've tolerated mediocre people and the faster I fire them. You get a couple warnings, a written paper trail, and then you're out of there. Because what I tolerate is what I endorse to all my other team members, and it kills morale. So when you have 7 people who are giving it 120%, and then there's that one team member who's only giving 80%, it discourages all those people who are giving it 120%. A lot of you right now have people on your team who are just not cutting it, and you're avoiding the issue because you don't want the confrontation. The next thing that you need to do as you build a team that's going to actually help you create $1 million company is you need to read a lot of books on leadership and management. You need to take management or leadership trainings. Right now, I'm in the middle of an executive leadership training. But the chances are, if you're an entrepreneur, you're not good at leading. You're not good at managing. If you're at 6 figures, you probably don't have the budget right now to have a general manager. So you have to manage. You're in charge of your people. You're probably not very good at it. It's probably not what you went to school for. It's probably not a strength of yours. You probably started off as a solo entrepreneur. You probably aren't very good at managing and leading your team. And that's okay. I wasn't either. Take courses on executive leadership. I teach a lot of tactics in my 100K mastermind. Just even reading books. A book that I highly recommend to teach you how to be a good leader, The Motive by Patrick Lencioni. It taught me everything I was missing and everything most people miss when it comes to leading a company and leading a team, which is what your job is as CEO. So read The Motive. It's a very good book and it will teach you and show you where your gaps are as a leader and perhaps give you an indication on why your team isn't performing at the level you want them to perform. Another thing that I've learned is to pay a fair market wage. This cuts both ways. When we say pay fair market wage, we instantly think, oh, well, make sure we pay people a lot of money. Like, don't be a cheapskate. And that's true. But I notice in my world, the women that I talk to are massively overpaying their team members. So it's basically like, okay, we talk so much shit about being a corporate. We talk so much shit about being an employee. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we feel bad for the people who work for us. We feel like, oh, you could be making so much more money if you worked for yourself. I would hate to have a boss. I would hate to be an employee. But what you forget is that as entrepreneurs, we're a very small minority. Most people hate the concept of running their own business. My sister says that all the time. She says, I would so much rather work for you. I would so much rather have stability. I would so much rather go into work and have a role like that versus running my own company. Most people don't want to run their own businesses. And as entrepreneurs, it's hard for us to wrap our mind around that because we love running our own businesses. We would never want to go work for somebody else ever again, but we're a minority. Most people like the stability of having a job. And so what happens is because you feel bad for them, because you're projecting your desires onto them, you're projecting your beliefs onto them, you're overcompensating. Most people that I talk to who are making 6 figures and have team members are paying those team members more than a fair market wages. So how do you find a fair market wage? It's really easy. Let's say you're hiring a coach and that coach is from Utah. You would Google average salary of a coach in Utah. And again, my general manager does a much more thorough job of this, but just to give you a range, for example, let's say you're hiring a copywriter, average salary of a copywriter in Utah. And that's what you pay them. That's fair market wage. Again, there's a range for things like experience and what they're going to be doing and blah, 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 bonuses. Like that's fine. But let me tell you, if you're making 6 figures and you've got several team members, there's at least one team member on your team who is currently being overpaid, and you probably know who that person is. Profitability is in your waste. Your profit, what goes into your bank account, your personal bank account, is being wasted on things like paying somebody more than what they're bringing to the table. And so it cuts both ways. Pay a fair market wage. Don't be paying people $2 an hour. I think that's obvious. I think most of us get that. Pay a fair market wage in both directions, right? So if somebody's doing a job that's worth $15 an hour, pay them $15 an hour. If you want to pay them $17 an hour, fine. I see it all the time in my consulting. You should be getting paid $15 an hour is getting paid $45 an hour. And that's cutting into your profits. Your people need to be paid a fair market wage. The way I think about it is I'm going to pay people appropriate. I'm going to pay them fairly. I lean on the side of paying them a little more, not too much, but just a little more than the marketplace. I'm actually creating and have the budget now to create 3 jobs rather than creating one. So if somebody's fair market wage is $20 an hour and I've been paying the last person $60 an hour, I now have an extra $40 per hour of budget room that I could open up 2 new jobs to 2 new people. And that feels amazing. So long story short, pay a fair market wage. Now, if a lot of this feels very overwhelming, it's honestly really normal. As the CEO of our company, our strengths are not in team leadership. And so what I do in my 100K mastermind is I actually walk you through things like building a team that's going to help you grow your business. So if you're currently making over $5,000 a month and you're interested in getting more information on my mastermind, which helps show you how I built a $100,000 per month business, you should go to mariawendt.com/apply and check out all the details. It's awesome. Basically, the way it works is it's like there's these stacking projects. And so each scaling project, it stacks and you add $10,000 per month based on the projects you're stacking. So you have one project, makes you $10,000 a month, and you stack another project, now you're at $20,000 a month. You add another project, now you're at $30,000 a month. It's awesome, and the students are doing really well on it. So it's a super cool mastermind. Check it out, mariawendt.com/apply. You can only apply if you're making over $5,000 per month in your business, because it's not beginner stuff, it's the next level stuff. But I'd love to see you in there if you do qualify. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, your team will make or break your business. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet already subscribed, be sure to subscribe. On this channel, I talk about how I grew a 7-figure business, how I make money, how I grow my social media following. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.